It's your uncle's will. He's left you everything.
Oh my goodness. From now on, you have a mistress, not a master. It is my intention to astonish you all.
I loved the film. It's fantastic.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
What attracted you to the role?
I'd never read the book before. I didn't study it at school and I had never picked it up. So when I got the call about it and I knew that Thomas was directing it, I read the book. And I thought she was just such a brilliant character. She was, written so... She's so fully fleshed in the novel. You get to really kind of dive inside her head in a way that sometimes you don't when you read a script. And so she has so many different facets to her personality. She's such a kind of contradiction in lots of ways. Incredibly willful, but also kind of painfully vulnerable at times. And I think because she was such a modern woman and because she, unlike most heroines of novels like this, starts the story with such a clear idea of what she wants from her life, and that doesn't involve being married to anyone. I thought that was such a great start to the story.
Absolutely. Do you see any of yourself in her at all?
I guess. I mean, I think I had a pretty sort of determined idea of what I wanted to do when I was younger, so I suppose in that respect there's similarities. And I think, she's a lot like a lot of women. I mean, a lot of girls and women that when you're 18, you don't really know what the hell you're doing. Yeah. And, and you make mistakes. And I think that's what's so interesting is that Thomas Hardy was able to write this really kind of authentic woman, from a male perspective.
So early
as
well.
Yeah.
Miss Everdene's here now, so you better do your best for...
Perhaps you'd care to lend a hand.
You don't think I would?
No, you wouldn't.
Do you think there are enough characters in Hollywood, female characters, that have the same level of complexity and strength as Bathsheba does?
No, I think it's a rare opportunity to get to play a part like Bathsheba, and doesn't come along often enough. And I think, it's not just sort of leading roles, because I think there's definitely fewer of those, but also in smaller characters, I think so often they aren't fully fleshed out characters. And so the great thing about adapting from great literature is that you have such a wealth of material to draw from to kind of make the character feel real. But, so often in film scripts, there's just, I suppose, when the emphasis of a story is on a man and a woman is just an accessory to driving the plot, there's just not a whole lot to her a lot of the time.
It must be quite frustrating as an actress working in that industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I feel like there's definitely a sort of hunger from an audience to see female stories, and films like Blue Jasmine, which was such a huge success, just show that audiences really want to see really great female characters and interesting female characters, but it just sort of hasn't caught up with itself yet.
Absolutely. And would you yourself describe yourself as a feminist? I know you're in Suffragette coming up as well. Is that something you kind of, relate to, being a feminist?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And what does it mean to you, I suppose, as well?
I mean, I feel, especially working on Suffragette, and I think we all feel a sort of reinvigorated sense of our own selves, and and I think in all aspects, equality for everyone is sort of. I think the larger message of Suffragette is not just to talk about women's rights, which of course it is, but to talk about equality in general. And I think that's something that, it's an amazing story that somehow over 100 years has never been told, that the struggle that women went through for us to get the vote in England.
Would you ever take on a role, how Emma Watson has for the UN as a goodwill ambassador for women and gender equality? Is that something you'd consider? I'm sure you're quite busy, but...
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely, I think what Emma Watson does is incredible. I think, it's such an important role and so amazing because she has such an enormous following, so obviously everything that she says is so closely followed and watched, and it's great that she uses her voice like that. And yeah, I mean, I think, what the great thing about, being in our job is that you have a platform to talk about things that you're passionate about. And so the work that I do is with children in conflict. I work with a charity called War Child, and with the Alzheimer's Society, so two kind of charities on different ends of the spectrum, but care for the elderly and care for children is something I feel really strongly about.